were you not, on a gay cruise.
Now, you're 120% dick pic.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about anything else. We're a walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room, and you return the favor.
Gonorrhea. No. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop it now. I order you to stop. I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you got to fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay.
I got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it.
What's up, savages? Terrence Pop here with another episode that is actually live from the lair. And today we're going to be talking about a subject, in my opinion, was the canary in the coal mine for the craziness that we have going on today with our media. Now, if there's anyone out there who's close to my age, you will remember the daytime talk shows and then the Tonight shows on all the other networks, which were basically the pinnacle of filth. Basically, you had all of the craziness going on in the world, just like it is now, but it came to a head or the top of the filth pyramid on daytime talk shows and the Tonight shows. But here comes the internet, and now it's bullshit and filth all day, every day, 24/7, 365, to the point where we have literally been lied to and gaslit and snow jobbed into dividing this country to the point of, let's just be honest, of the two-way rifle range. Now, tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of the older shows out there and basically a lot of stuff they talked about and what have you. But we're doing this for a historic comparison of then versus now. And let me tell you, now is one hell of a green, mustardy, shitty diaper that is overflown and is now being smeared on the wall by said child who took the diaper off in the middle of the night, which has happened to me on several occasions with my own children. It was quite revolting. But now it's happening in front of everyone, right in front of their faces, and nobody's calling it out. And there's a whole bunch of people out there who are like literally going, oh, that sounds legit. It's not. All right, we got Battle Dwarf here, and we got Jimmy on station. Let's start this clusterfuck. Oh!
The poopy diaper is just a ritual of parenthood, though, man. It really is. If you have children or have had children, you have dealt with the poopy diaper.
At least once.
I mean, we could probably do an entire show on nightmare experiences of poopy diapers.
Or just, yeah.
If we really felt like going down that dark, stinky, tarry path.
Well, it took me about 2 months until I had my system down.
Yeah.
And then it was no big deal.
I was fortunate. I came from a very large family, so diaper changing was no big deal to me. My ex-wife was shocked that I just kind of changed a diaper and didn't think anything of it. I'm like,
I had a whole ritual I had to go through.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. Full decon with the sprayer rig and the truck with the hose and the guys in suits and masks.
Actually, it was Vicks Vapor Rub up the nose.
Oh.
Then I would set everything up, ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And literally it's done. I could literally get it done in like a minute. If it wasn't like
it's like calf roping.
That's exactly what it was.
4 seconds. That's
as
good.
long as it wasn't like too terrible.
0.3 of a second off your best time, but
that'd be a good comedy skit.
It is inherently a good parental comedy skit there. Speaking of comedy, one of the reasons we chose this tonight is to steer away from some of the darkness that's going on in the world right now, because God knows we've got enough dark comedy happening in Chicago. Did it get dark in here?
Yeah, it's overwhelming, actually. This is what I've heard about what's going on down in Chicago.
Oh, another rabbit hole.
Chicago PD has had somewhere between 750 and 1,200 officers call in sick. So
really?
Yeah, they're shorthanded,
Okay.
and some of the local police departments are refusing to, cover down. So,
okay.
Not only does Chicago have a shortage of police officers normally, but now they're real shorthanded.
If I was a Chicago cop, I would be doing the same thing, because I guarantee you they will get no mercy from above and no mercy from below on this one.
And also there's a coordinated effort from Florida and Texas. They have shipped up there somewhere between 15 and 30,000 illegal aliens on top of police shortage, on top of internal civil war with the Democratic Party between those who support Israel and
aggressive undocumented bipeds.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Two-legged speedy beefs.
Yeah, two-legged speedy beef. I don't blame the Chicago police for standing down, and I don't blame the local police for not covering down on any of that stuff. This show is kind of taking a life of its own in just the first couple of minutes already. But that's okay. That's okay, because we know how to...
Well, the best shows you get are the ones that come from...
That just happen.
Yeah, it just happen. I mean, we can rehearse it. And it would come across as all stiff. And
Well, here's the thing. I don't think we've ever rehearsed a show.
no, I don't
When we first started doing radio back in 2009, we would get a general outline of notes
and we would just talk,
and just go to town.
Yeah.
And that got us in trouble more than once.
which I'm cool with.
And got us a phone call with Erin Pizzi. That was fun.
That was awesome. And she's still alive too, but
Is she?
yeah,
She's got to be like 8 bajillion years old.
like 88-ish.
88-ish.
She's like 10
Somewhere
years
in
older than my mother.
Wow. Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to see those years. I'm good.
Well, you know you're probably going to be punished on the back end with some longevity to make up for some of the things you might have done in your youth.
yeah, you're right.
There's a decent chance of that. So speaking of being punished on the back end for what we did in our youth, that's the story of the American talk show pretty much, because we had way too much fun with all of this stuff in the beginning. This is just a partial list that we've got up here. This is on IMDb, and it is all the late night talk shows. And I currently have them organized by date of release. It started with The Tonight Show, which is technically still on. Then Jack Parr, who was the heartthrob guy of the time, took over. Then Steve Allen took over, who was a comedian. And some of you might actually remember Steve Allen. He was a pretty funny guy. Then Steve Allen. Playhouse, Jack Parr again. And then the one that everybody knows, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny
This is
Carson.
when late night TV hit its stride.
Yes.
Now, one of the main
This was the
reasons
golden era.
the Tonight Show or the late night shows did as well as they did is back in the day, people worked all day. They got up at 7, were at work by 8. They were usually done between 5 and 7 o'clock at night. Got home by 8 o'clock that night. And here in Detroit, if you go to a lot of the older homes, they have a second bathroom or slop sink toilet combination in the basement. That was called a muck room.
Yes.
Because the men would come home so dirty, they would literally walk to the basement, clean up before they were presentable to come upstairs to eat their dinner and watch a late show.
Yeah, that's actually
in current year. We've got so many people sucking on either the tit or the dick of the government. You take your pick. Or working part-time, not working at all, or working from home, that the Tonight Show thing doesn't really catch as many eyeballs as it used to, especially now that it's been converted, in my opinion, to nothing but propaganda for the left.
Yeah, it used to be during the height of the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. It was highbrow comedy. He had people of note on there. Everybody from other comedians of his own stripe to politicians.
What about the Animal Nights?
Actors. The Animal Nights were...
Oh, my God. Some of the best outtakes from that show.
I wish we could play the outtakes. The problem is YouTube will hit us.
No, we'll get hammered.
Yeah.
I like the
will hit
one
us
where
with
they actually had they brought in a bear, and it was getting a little squirrely. He literally got up and was like,
get ready to run for it.
He was getting ready to run away. I was like 14 watching that. I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious.
There was one where it was like a lemur or something was like climbing all over his head.
Yes.
Like a big furry panda-ish looking thing. And he was pretty distraught about that one too. But the point being, the whole thing about the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson was relief from the normal day for the American public. And Johnny Carson really understood his art. He had, who was the guy who did Dorf on Golf?
I don't remember.
Do you remember the skit though?
Yeah.
I believe that was Tim Conley.
Thank you, Tim Conley.
Tim Conley, Tim Conway, one of those two.
Yeah, Tim Conway, I believe.
I believe that.
Somewhere in there. Anyway. And then Ed McMahon was always right there covering down for Johnny and making sure everything went smoothly, introducing the guests and all of that stuff. And I think actually we could probably get away.
No, don't play anything for
No, you don't want the intro?
No, don't do it. We'll get hammered. Listen, they're assholes, man, and we're under a microscope already.
Yeah, I know.
There's no need to make it easy.
I I hate that. I love the Johnny Carson intro.
I know.
It
So
kills
do I.
me. I just want to do that. But as time went on, the David Frost show, the new Bill Cosby show, nobody knew what was going on there 1972 to 1973, but his talk show didn't last all that long. Jack Parr made more than one comeback.
One of
along
the main
line.
reasons the Bill Cosby thing didn't really go that long
Mm-hmm.
is, one, there was a lot of racial tension back then, and two, he had a potty mouth.
Bill Cosby?
Not in front of the camera.
Off camera.
Off camera. He was...
Because Richard Pryor was the one who had the potty mouth.
Oh, yeah, but Richard Pryor didn't give a shit about his
He
potty mouth.
cared not at all.
He's just like me.
Yeah.
I don't care about the
No,
potty mouth.
you hold nothing to Richard Pryor.
No.
That guy was a master of... Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he was really good at swearing.
Yeah, he was
And he
extremely
did it-
good at swearing.
yeah.
Eddie Murphy tried. Eddie Murphy is Richard Pryor light with a one-ball vasectomy.
One ball vasectomy.
Yeah.
So what?
Eddie Murphy was funny, but he couldn't hold a candle to Richard Pryor.
Not on the regular.
Uh-uh.
No, some of those Eddie Murphy specials where all the jokes had been polished and everything, they were really good.
Don't get me wrong. I love me Beverly Hills Cop 1.
But Richard Pryor was just walk around funny all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I believe he was on a Carson more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And Carson had to down. Slow.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
And actually, Carson had quite the list of individuals that he would not allow on his show.
Did he?
Yes.
I didn't know
I don't
that.
remember who they all were, but a lot of people made that list and they never even found out why.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I had never heard that before.
And of course, he's dead now. So I believe Johnny Carson burned in.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that.
He's dead.
Yeah.
What
He had a good run.
Mhm.
He had a good run. Anyway, the other late night show that really took off, of course, was Late Night with David Letterman. He didn't have Carson's polish by a mile, but the guy was absolutely funny as hell. And he had the top 10, wasn't him?
Yes.
Yes. He would do top 10 of God knows what else. And this was 82 to 93. Then Larry King Live, for those of you who like the Geritol crowd. Later with Bob Costas, the Arsenio Hall show, which was on for a minute, but wasn't that
First of
great.
all, I actually liked the Arsenio Hall show.
Really?
Yeah.
Guy's got artificial fingers. His fingers are like 14 inches long.
Yeah, I know, but I actually liked the show. It's okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think I watched like one time.
No, I watched it on, not every night, but 2 or 3 times a week. I thought it was okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let me make this announcement. All right, everybody, YouTube has demonetized us to an extremely unreasonable level since we're at roughly 2015. So any donations you make to the channel go a long way to keep this going. So please help us out. Sorry for begging for money all the time, but it is what it is. I got to pay the bills. There you go.
That is what it is.
Yep.
And we put a lot of work into this stuff. So we appreciate everything you help us with. We've been doing this for a very, very long time. Of course, after Johnny retired in 92, Jay Leno stepped into his shoes, and he ran a pretty good show for quite a while. But in my opinion, that's when the wheels started to come off.
Talking about Jay Leno?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the propaganda stuff.
Yeah, you could see the propaganda slipping in. Like, for instance, I remember watching, I think it was a documentary on the talk shows and how much work those guys actually put in. And just to do the show every night, it's quite, it was quite a trip. But you see the amount of material they're handed to work with. And it just, when it first started off, they were focused on, hey, pick from this stack of stuff and see what's funny, make people laugh so they can come back and watch more shows, to you need to cover this because we're telling you to, we signed your checks. And that made all the difference in the world. Why the ratings started tanking and everything else, because it just wasn't funny anymore when you start adding an agenda / propaganda. Yeah. In the back,
and where the only thing that counts is your board numbers.
Correct.
You're getting the stockholders paid. and that just killed the whole. Well, all of it really.
Yeah, it destroyed the whole thing. Like, comedy is comedy.
Yeah.
And one of the main tasks of a comedian is to literally ride the surfboard of truth between lies and the absolute truth and try to piss off as many people as you can along that journey. And that's
In
just the way
as
it is.
artful a way as possible.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it
Yeah.
for 15 years now. I did it under the noses of the regular army.
You got called out for that once, as I recall. Yeah. That was pretty good. He got called out for his comedy routine by the United States Army.
Yes, they got really upset at me, and I got away with it because I sold it as my therapy.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. They're your therapy. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, well, listen, most of you guys who watch the show, you need to come to Jesus moment here. As much as I'm helping you, I'm helping myself by releasing a lot of the negativity that I have rolling around inside this, meat suit.
Yeah, that's why I continue to do this.
Yeah, I mean, Battle Dwarf and I have faced some pretty egregious shit in the divorce court world and what have you, to the point of, becoming suicidal. And if it could get me and it can get him, it can get anyone. And that's kind of why I flipped the script and turned it into comedy back in 2009-ish, 2010. And really went forward with it starting in 2000, end of 2000.
I have a terrible idea.
What?
I have a terrible idea.
What?
What if we started a late night talk show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We need a stage, little desk.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
We could do what we need to have writers and stuff. We just don't have
writers.
We don't have the staff.
We don't need stinking writers.
We don't need your stinking writers.
Stinking writers. This is 2024. I have AI write the damn thing.
But
of course, AI will tell the truth. We'll get banned on everything.
But my thing is this: I literally would come home from doing whatever the hell I was doing in the 90s, turn on the TV around 10:30, and then wait for the Tonight Show to come on around 11. Anywhere between 11 and midnight, there was a couple of them, just to see what was going on. And this was before, in my opinion, before the propaganda really started getting stupid. And it was, I would say, it was quite contenting. You got to see what was going on. It was funny. They presented it in a funny way. And it just made everything that happened during the day just that much more easy to live with.
Yeah, it was a release. It was a pressure valve. You get home, you go, let the damn pressure off.
That's right.
Probably the king of, they called them variety shows back in the 50s, was Ed Sullivan. And this guy, pretty much everybody knows who he is, except for maybe the 20-year-olds anymore. I mean, this guy, reruns of this show, his shows were running well into the 90s.
But that ran during the day, though. I don't think that was a night show.
It was evening.
Evening.
It was like 7 o'clock.
Yeah. It was after.
Remember the Donnie and Marie show and all of that stuff? He ran in that time slot.
The news hour was what, 5 to 6?
5 to 6.
And then 6 to 7.
6 to 7 was game shows.
Yeah.
And then 7 to 8 was variety TV.
Yeah.
Hee Haw and the Ed Sullivan Show and so on and so forth. But Ed Sullivan, to the point, pretty much paved the way for the modern talk show host, because he would have conversation with everybody he brought on. And he's most famous for bringing Elvis on and letting Elvis play and making the cameras focus above Elvis's waist so nobody could see his obscene dance moves. And at the time, they were considered obscene. It was just how it was.
Back then, it was, instead of twerking, it was florking.
I suppose.
He was flailing his spork around.
Yeah.
And, women loved it.
I'm sure that's true, but Ed Sullivan, not so much.
Not having it.
He had the Beatles on. He had Rudolph Nureyev, the ballet dancer, on. Bob Hope was on everybody's talk show, though.
Yeah, Bob Hope.
He was a regular. He was also a freaking hero with the troops.
Oh, yeah. Bob Hope.
That guy was amazing.
I mean, I think, like, we did the tribute for Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And he was a huge USO guy. And a lot of times he would go entertain the troops and they wouldn't even pay him. They would just pay per diem.
Yeah. He would just go. He had enough money. He would just,
Yeah.
I'm going.
And same thing with Bob Hope.
Yeah.
And, Bob Hope, when he passed away, I mean, it was a pretty significant funeral and everything. When Robin Williams passed away, it was literally they hid in shame. It was very small kind of.
Really? I did not know that.
It was very small ceremony. And I think that goodbye for Robin Williams was literally robbed from the entire country. That's how much he was loved.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was, first of all, he was a AAA actor, in my opinion. I would say he was a AAA comedian. And he mixed the two together, and we are not going to see anyone like him in our lifetimes.
He sold us an alien who came in a flying space egg and made us like it.
Yes. And we laughed our balls off.
Yeah. And said stupid shit like Nanu Nanu.
Yeah. And he went up against Fonzie.
And he went up against Fonzie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I forgot about that episode. That was his first appearance.
Yep.
That Mork from Ork's first appearance was against Fonzie in an episode of Happy Days.
Yep.
I completely forgotten about that. I need to rewatch that episode.
Yeah. But, the thing is if you like the Ed Sullivan variety show, you got to see a little bit of what was going on in the world. Of course, you had people who were like, no, we can't show people this. We can't show people that.
It was the 1950s. This was the way it was at the time.
But look how the world is now.
Yes, we're getting to that part. That's the whole point of this.
We could actually use a little more of that morality in current year.
Yeah, it's just and you could say whatever you want about it, but the fact is, why do you have to always saturate people's eyeballs with that crap?
Yeah.
Why do you always have to saturate people's eyeballs with audaciousness and filth and gore and shocking stuff and so on and so forth?
Well, see, back in the day, they did it to see what they could get away with. Now that they're getting away with it, they want to one-up each other to the point where it is, in my opinion, it is over the top.
Yeah. It started in the early 80s with movies like Porky's and Animal House.
I loved Animal House.
It was a great movie.
I just watched it the other night.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
All of that was testing the boundaries to see what they could get away with, and they got away with it.
Yep.
And so they kept making more and raunchier and stuff like Johnny Carson.
And now we're grooming in schools.
Mm-hmm. Did we just let them get married? They just want to be. I got to shut up because we're going to get dinged. Do not go down the multicolored rabbit hole.
Yeah, but it's totally true. It is.
Do not taste the rainbow. Although Sullivan was often awkward and self-conscious on camera, he was a hit with the audiences, and his program had a broad appeal. That, ladies and gentlemen, is called charisma.
Yes.
Ed Sullivan had charisma, as did Bob Hope, as did Robin Williams, Johnny Carson.
And character.
And that's what drove those shows. Somebody in the chat said Belushi was a god. He was. The guy was also one of those people who had tremendous character. The other one is the guy who played Latka on Taxi.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was a genius. Oh. That whole character, he just invented it off the top of his head. And it just...
They went with it.
Let's do that.
Well, here's the thing. If you're doing a comedy show, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't really write into the script how the characters react to certain situations. You can try, but if you force that, it looks like
it looks
forced, and it's just right collar, robotic. Nobody wants to see that.
Insert joke here. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
No,
they like the guy who you want me to deliver it like this. That doesn't sound right. And then off the cuff, he's just like, no, and everyone laughs.
Belushi was great at that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. Jimmy, do you remember the guy's name who played Latka on Taxi?
I don't remember.
What's that dude's name? Drag that up for me real fast.
Oh, Danny DeVito.
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Didn't they do a whole movie on him?
I believe they did. I believe
Man
they
on the Moon.
did. He had quite a story
Yes.
behind him. But Taxi was one of the few sitcoms that I could watch. I don't really like sitcoms because they're formulaic and they tell you when to laugh using laugh tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
You could turn the laugh track off on Taxi
It's still funny.
and the shit's still funny.
See, I like MASH.
MASH as well.
MASH really did it. No,
MASH was
Like-
good. And
like the interactions
Barney Miller.
with Radar O'Reilly.
Yes.
Because I've actually met individuals who could do shit like he did in the army.
Oh yeah. You get a good supply
Yeah.
corporal, and
Oh
it's
my
never like
God.
the supply sergeant. It's always this little corporal over in the corner, and you need like 15 of these. Oh yeah, I get that.
Oh,
Hang
no.
on a minute.
We'd have an operation come in. I'd call the supply sergeant. Hey, yeah, I already got it. I didn't even know I was going to tell you. Yeah, I know what's going on. Yeah. Well, what about you? Got it. What about it's already done. I'm like, holy shit. Okay.
This is a true story that I'm kind of proud of. My dad was in the Korean War, 19th Infantry. And when they got there, they're standing out in the rain, he said, and the supply sergeant says, "Can anybody here type?" My dad looked around, nobody raised his hand, and my dad went, "Supply sergeant, go to my tent. So I need you to type these things out. I can't type. You have 3 days to learn to type." My dad learned to type with like 3 or 4 fingers. So he became the supply corporal, but he would tell me stories about how they would trade with other units.
You got a horse trade.
He would get whiskey from the officer's supply tent somehow to trade for food for the battalion and sheets. He could trade sheets for cigarettes.
Yeah. As a first sergeant and former, scrounger in the 9th ID, when I was in Iraq, I did all of that shit because you have to horse trade.
Yes,
and
never ever piss off the supply.
Well,
sergeant.
we had a vehicle.
Do not do it.
We had a vehicle get hit by a roadside bomb.
Okay,
right near the front of our fob, which was Abu Ghraib.
Okay.
They drag it into the fob, and it wasn't tore up too bad.
Right.
Nobody was killed. Nobody was really wounded. They were just kind of shaken up. And then it sat there for like a month. Meanwhile, I have all these other vehicles that are like, we're short on equipment. We're short on parts. We're driving trucks that need to be Circle X'd because they're that bad.
This is normal for the Army, by the way.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of, mechanics that actually are infantry guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we need brakes. We need this. And finally, they're like, hey, I think we're going to scavenge all the parts off of that destroyed vehicle. And I'm like, I hear nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
As long as it remains in the Army system, it is not theft.
And you could tell my unit was from Detroit because the next day,
Up on blocks.
Picked clean. Picked clean.
That is the signature Detroit move.
So 2 weeks later, there's this first lieutenant. I get called up there and say, First Sergeant, I roll my vehicle in the fob and look at it. It's a shell.
It got picked clean.
So I had Carmel, who was a supply sergeant from back in the day. He had already filled out all the combat loss paperwork.
Oh, we had this one ready to go.
And we're just like, sir, if you just sign here. All right. What's that? He goes, if you'll see, there's 6 witness statements. And this is actually the combat loss saying that the vehicle was destroyed in combat.
Yeah.
If you could just sign and everything will go away. And it did. It did. It did. Because technically, it was destroyed. It was, damaged heavily.
It was heavily damaged, and the parts went on to serve a greater purpose.
Yeah, I literally had.
That's fantastic.
I had 3 heavy up armors that all needed brakes.
Yeah,
and we, one needed a set of front brakes, one needed a set of back brakes.
Sure,
we traded some other parts for some brake pads.
Yeah,
I traded whole pallets of that alcohol-free Nama beer for stuff. We had foot lockers of computers that just I came across, and I would trade those for all kinds.
Foot lockers of computers.
These things happen. Don't ask me.
That's fine.
All right. But in a combat zone, that's the way shit works.
Yes. Can vouch.
Yeah. I should do a show on that. Horse trading.
Do a show on that. Horse trading. This all stemmed from talking about MASH.
Yeah.
Interestingly, when the 4077th was officially decommissioned in Korea, that happened at Pyeongtaek, and I was there.
Mm.
And all of the actors who were still alive came over. I think Loretta Swit was there. Alan Alda was there.
Oh.
And a bunch of the other ones from the original movie, too.
Yeah.
Came over. That was actually kind of cool. There was a big, huge ceremony for this fictional TV comedy unit that.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
The numbered unit did exist at one time. There was a 4077th Military Advanced Service Hospital.
Yeah, but the thing is we just got done doing 2 decades worth of war.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the funny shows about it?
Yes.
Because, come on.
Where's our shows?
Yeah. They're not there because they're not allowed
Yep.
to be put on the air.
They
They're
did
not-
a couple of hero movies.
Yeah, they're not funded.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, look at all the material we could have. We could have, like, another MASH. We could have, similar shows that took place in Afghanistan and Iraq and all the surrounding theaters, because there's more than just those two.
Yeah.
And, it actually would have been a pretty good
I
deal.
was about 10 years ago, I was kicking around an idea for a sitcom called Sorryville about soldiers forming a town in Montana where everybody agreed to live under UCMJ because all the soldiers didn't want to go back to the stupid civilian world.
Yeah.
And a civilian doctor comes in and he's got to find his way through the maze of UCMJ and military
and broken dudes
and wondering why there's some guy in a bathrobe saluting the flag at 5:00 in the morning. And it's some World War II veteran who's like completely looped out. And
yeah, listen, man, war takes to that. Look, the only reason I'm still standing here is because I had a former commander take the bullet that was meant for me.
Yeah.
At number 2, I made the conscious decision to rewrite the software in my Think and Meet because my brain had been damaged and I was encountering all kinds of frustration and pain because I was trying to use this damaged brain the way it used to be.
Yeah.
So I had to rewrite the software, which is in my book, The Warrior's Way, Soldier Soul, so I could continue to move forward and do positive shit.
Yeah. I woke up with a picture of my daughter in my hand on the floor after quite a few blackout benders. And that was like the moment where I went, okay, that's enough of this stupid.
Yeah. You got fate kicked in the face.
And I had a couple more hardcore down moments, but that was the one where I was, and that's like my anchor point, where if I have those moments again, I'm like, you've been here before, remember?
Yeah. Like the best story that has been sent in thus far that, for all the people on the board, the 550 that have been saved, was the guy who sent in his story about he literally was on his couch and he was at bullshit saturation. He had a bottle of whiskey and a pistol. And he's like, when this bottle is empty and finished, so am I. And then Redonkulas popped up on his TV. He started watching the show. Of course, he ran through the bottle. And by the time it was empty, he's like, I'm going to go to bed.
There you go.
He didn't shoot himself.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You're late night TV.
Yeah.
This is apropos to the topic.
Yeah. I guess I am. But I would love to get in front of more people. So everyone watching the show, subscribe and share it. And, share the videos, the channel, whoever, pay it forward, save more lives.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Well, now I feel kind of lightweight going over to Johnny Carson again, but I mean, the people that Carson had on his show easily.
Yeah, Jim Carrey in his beginning days.
Yeah, Jim Carrey, Jonathan Winters, Don Rickles. Does anybody remember Don Rickles?
I remember Don Rickles.
That guy was funny.
Yeah.
That guy was funny.
There's Robin Williams on
Steve
there.
Martin. That's the Robin Williams episode. I recognize the jacket.
Yeah.
Where he talks about being taken through divorce court.
Yeah.
And being ripped apart. If you haven't seen Pop's thing on Robin Williams, go watch his Robin Williams tribute. It is well worth your while.
Yeah.
You made that like 12 years ago.
We made it within 2 weeks of within a week of his passing. And we gave him the 21 gun salute he should have fucking gotten from the soldiers he entertained over the years.
Yeah.
He deserved a 21 gun salute on his way out. And I gave it to him. I did the best I could. I would have even buried him myself. If they'd have called me up like, hey, show up with your Class A's, throw this guy in the dirt. Done.
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking pay me. I will show up. I'll sleep in a fucking tent to do it. Fuck you.
Yeah, that would have been he did deserve that. You're right. Steve Martin is another one of those comedians that just has natural charisma. The guy is genuinely weird, and it works somehow, and nobody really questions it.
Yep.
All the while that's going on, and this
Space
one
Ghost.
here is Pop's personal favorite.
Yes.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast starts to show up in the like mid-90s.
Yeah. Yeah. And first of all, for those of you who don't know, I always bring up Space Ghost as a reference in my videos because that was the last cartoon that was on minutes before I discovered titties. So whenever you hear me go, fucking Space Ghost, I'm moving my mind back in time before I started dick thinking and the world was a simpler
Is that
place.
what that's all about?
Yeah.
You know, I've never known what that's all about.
Sorry. But that's it.
Because he said that to me several times. I'll be talking to something, and he'll go, yeah, Space Ghost. And walk away, and I'm like,
what the hell was that?
Fuck was that? What was that even?
But literally, I was watching Space Ghost. I had one of those old glass bottle Coca-Colas and my first girlfriend, Little Debbie, on the table.
Little Debbie? You know that's an oatmeal-filled cream pie, right?
Oh, yes.
Or cream-filled oatmeal pie, rather.
My buddy Chuck and Eric were in the house.
Yeah.
We're hanging out. I walk to the door. I open it because she rang the doorbell. And there she's standing with like a rack of C tits. And I was it.
I mean, like shirted or on full display?
No, they were shirted.
Okay.
But the thing is like,
oh, that was the moment.
I
remember that moment. I was about 15.
It was at the end of summer. She went away for the summer to go out with her, to spend it with her mother.
Right.
She comes back and she literally went from like no tits to a C cup in like 8.5 weeks.
Wow.
I was really like, boom. I was like, whoa, this is odd. I feel stupid. And then it began.
Boobies. Yeah. It is just what guys do. We hit a certain age, and all of a sudden we notice all of that stuff.
Like women
Not that it wasn't there before.
No, women have the bitch switch between the shoulder blades that kicks on between 12 and 13.
Yeah.
Dudes have their dick switch in the front, and it turns on right around 11, 12.
It was later for me. It was like 15. I was just having too good a time doing other shit.
That's fine. I'm just saying it does happen.
Yeah, that's absolute truth. And it's not like they weren't around. I had older sisters who had friends, and I never noticed those girls. You know, they were when I was like 8, my sisters were like 15. You'd think I would have noticed their friends, but no, it didn't happen until I was like 15 years old.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Anyway, there you have it. So Space Ghost, there we know the origin of the Space Ghost story from Pop. I think you did an episode on that.
Yep.
Was the first cartoon to succeed in doing a talk show, and because it was ridiculous, the damn thing worked. Now, where did I put... Those are out of order.
You're out of order.
You're out of order. I'll leave you with Space Ghost. I thought I brought Jay Leno up here. I must not have been able to find one.
Let's talk about the Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, okay. We'll go with Jimmy Kimmel. Doubts late night TV shows will still exist in 10 years. Networks are going to stop paying. This is from this year. The thing is, those shows have been on the decline. They're not getting as much viewership anymore because these guys, especially people like Jimmy Kimmel and
Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, I mean they're pushing propaganda.
And they
it's not even
stop.
funny.
Yeah, I just one insult joke after another against whatever person that they don't like.
The Trumpanzees against Trump.
Yeah.
Now listen, if you want to have a successful anything and you have tight margins, you need to have 100% customer participation or something as close as you can get. If you are drawing a line down the middle of your audience, calling half of them, idiots because they want to vote for Trump and they're conservative and they believe in, America and the Republic, and of course you're not going to get the viewership. You're saying I don't need half of your money. What kind of shit? That's not how you run a fucking business.
There's another aspect here that these clowns. Speaking of being 15 again. These clowns are missing entirely. Do you have a school bell?
Do I? No, I don't.
I didn't think you did, but we'll do a little class here anyway, because this is basic PSYOP 101, and you learn this stuff when you work in civil affairs or working near any of the PSYOP units. What these idiots... Where'd that come from? Nice! Thank you. What these idiots have accidentally done is commit one of the worst 101 level errors in psychological warfare, and they have oversaturated their propaganda.
Mhm.
And when you oversaturate propaganda, it's like the billboard you drive past every morning when you go to work. You notice it the first 2-3 times, but after that, you no longer notice it. You become essentially mentally numb to it.
Or if the same message is on every billboard.
Yes. Yeah.
Every billboard.
Also exactly the same.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, hey.
Yeah. It's oversaturation of propaganda, and these idiots have done this in spades. And now when people turn on these shows, they're literally not hearing what these guys are saying anymore, because their brain's like, yeah.
And then you have the people who realize that it's bullshit.
Well, that's what happens next.
Like, when is the last time you watched actual TV? 2012, you said?
Probably 2012, 2013.
Yep.
I got a like $120 cable bill, and I'm watching like 3 things. Boop.
Yep. Mine was 2016.
Okay.
I've literally, my public TV consumption in 2016 after the election went to about 10% of what it was. After the 2020 election, it went to 0.
Yeah. I don't even know what's on TV anymore.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean that literally.
Yeah.
I don't know what TV.
I don't care either. Anymore. Though we're going to have a commercial for Redonkulas on TV coming up.
No, I have to watch that though.
Yeah,
I have to watch that though. Tracy was talking about that today. She said they're close to getting that into circulation. And there's going to be an actual Redonkulas TV ad, which I have a hard time not laughing at because I don't know why.
Listen, I'm trying to
get a long time coming, though.
I need the message to get out there, because what I'm doing is working. I'm one guy, okay? I am one dude who's having a knife fight with one of the primal forces of the universe, which is destruction. You refer to it as death.
Yeah.
Our federal government has been giving billions upon billions of dollars to the Department of Defense to try to curb the suicides. And I just looked. I sent you that memo that about the resiliency training is going to come to an end in the Army because it's not working. They have spent billions and billions of dollars to hire counselors, shrinks, all kinds of programs to curb the suicide epidemic that's been going on, to no avail. I'm one guy. I have a show. I'm doing jokes. I'm talking about stuff that's actually causing these dudes to want to exit the planet. And I've saved 550 people's lives.
Yeah.
And I've done it with next to nothing of a budget. That is the true special forces in me, fighting for the hearts and minds of the men out there.
And for some perspective, there's a lot of people who get on the internet and do shows like this. And I've tried. It's tough. That ugly freaking mug over there has been doing this for 15 years. I know. I've watched him do it the whole time. He just doesn't quit. He just does not go away. He's kind of like herpes, but funnier.
But funnier. I don't need a permanent penis pimple. I'm good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel is unsure late night shows will still exist in 10 years, saying he believes networks won't dig into the pockets much longer to finance the talk series because people can just watch it online. You were exactly right. We were talking about it in the truck on the way back from getting food.
That's our ritual.
It is what we do. We eat and talk about what we're going to do on the show and whatever else is going on.
And then you sleep.
And it's like
for about a half an hour. It's like a half an hour.
20 minutes, half an hour, and I don't. I just shut down the engine.
Yeah, it's a ranger.
The brain is still there, yeah.
It's a ranger nap.
It is a ranger.
I'm familiar with it.
You can sleep on a pile of fucking... I literally slept on a pile of grenades going down a dirt road in the back of a deuce and a half.
You know how many times I've talked to guys who are like, hey, what's going on? This is what we're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah.
It's a special ability that you gain.
I've lost that since I got my TBI, and I would like to have it back.
Really?
I can't
You can't do the ranger naps anymore?
Not anymore, no.
The brain stays on, but the body shuts all the way down.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
I don't know if there will be any late night television shows on network TV. Maybe there'll be one, but there won't be a lot of them, Jimmy Kimmel Live host said on the Politicking podcast. Maybe more significantly, the fact that people are easily able to watch your monologue online the next day, it really cancels out the need to watch it when it's on the air, and people stop watching it when it's on the air. Networks are going to stop paying for it to be made. He makes a really good point. People don't have to stay up until 11:30 to watch these monologues anymore. They can watch them the next day.
Yeah, but the thing is
on their phone.
It's so expensive, though, because they have a huge staff.
Yes.
And they're in New York.
And these guys get paid, too.
Yeah, and the guy at the top, I mean, who's the one with the big nose that has all the cars?
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno, yeah.
I always think of his jaw. He's got
the jaw. I mean, he looks
jaw.
From the side, he looks like a crescent moon.
Yes, he does.
But here's the thing:
his cars are awesome.
He's got like 2 or 3 garages of vintage automobiles he bought with the money he was paid to do the show.
That is correct.
So they paid him a lot of money, and now we're seeing is diminishing returns because they push the propaganda. They have the
people don't hear them anymore. Like I said, with the propaganda saturation, you stop hearing it.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you start looking at it and going,
why am I watching this?
You motherfuckers.
Yeah. Why am I watching this?
You realize that you've been propagandized.
Yeah.
And it makes you freaking angry.
Yeah. Listen, when you realize they've been blowing smoke up your ass, you're going to get pretty pissed.
Yeah.
Because that's a no-no situation.
Yeah.
There's no touching of the slot B.
Yeah. And as far as watching the shows on the internet after, I mean, yeah, we had VCRs back in the day, but not everybody had VCRs, unlike the internet or phones. Wow. And also, not everybody was going to program a VCR.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass.
We went to Blockbuster. We rented a damn video. We threw it in the machine, and we forgot to rewind it. Got charged a $2 fee.
Yeah. Yep, that's the way it used to roll. Yeah,
that's how we rolled.
I hated that.
I remember literally standing outside of a Blockbuster one day, realizing I had forgotten to rewind it, and I did the old pencil thing. I had the tape, and I'm like, rewinding it so I didn't have to pay the damn fee.
And like I remember when you'd have Netflix first came out,
it was a vending machine.
Yeah, I remember like you could you'd order it, they'd mail you the discs and stuff, and then they started doing it online. As soon as I saw them, like you could watch it online, I'm like, there goes all of the video stores.
It killed
all
Blockbuster.
That shit is
going
out of business.
Right in the back of the head.
Blockbuster. And I listen, when they went under, I bought a bunch of their shit dirt cheap, and I still have it upstairs.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think there is one Blockbuster still open in Michigan, and there's one other. There's a video store down in Rochester that's hanging on.
Well, there was one in Royal Oak off Crooks, and when that went under, what is it? There
was a Blockbuster on Woodward.
No, there
was
11. A big director from Hollywood who showed up and bought the entire store's inventory.
Oh,
Tarantino.
Was that Thomas Video?
I think it was.
Thomas Video was like legendary.
It was before Blockbuster.
Yeah.
They were literally the pioneers.
Yeah, Thomas Video had, and then they had a room in the back with a bead curtain.
Special room.
Yeah, that's Thomas right there. Yeah. That's Thomas Video.
Well,
yeah, the special
rumor
beaded
is
curtain.
The rumor is Tarantino showed up and bought all of the inventory.
And it was run by a couple of esoteric beatniks who looked like they were from a Tarantino movie.
Yep, and I forget why they shut it down. I think they were just getting old and they wanted to just.
I don't know. I was gone by then. I did not know Tarantino shut it.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor I heard.
I wonder if we could track that rumor down. That's a good rumor.
Yeah, listen, man. That's a happy ending. That's a W.
That is a happy ending.
That's
that
a
video
W in my book.
Had all of the cool stuff. If you wanted foreign movies that nobody had ever heard of before, that's where I found Wim Wenders.
Yeah.
The movie Wings of Desire that has Columbo in it about an angel who falls in love with a mortal woman and like falls to earth deliberately and
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back out of the weeds.
Woo! This show's all full of rabbit holes. He continued, maybe more significantly, the fact that people are easily able to watch your monologue online the next day. It cancels out the need to watch it when it's on the air. He added that the root cause of late night shows ending could be there's simply too much to watch in this era of streaming. There's a lot to watch now, and people can watch anything at any time. They've got all these streaming devices. It used to be Johnny Carson was the only thing on at 11:30, so everybody watched. And then David Letterman was on after Johnny, so people watched those two shows. But now there's just so many options. The problem, Jimmy Kimmel, is that you're facing competition that only has to run on a budget of like maybe $20 a show, really realistically. And they're producing better content than you because you allow your writers to be a bunch of Bolshevik douchebags who write nothing but propaganda and nobody hears what you're saying. Your competition is stomping you with a GoPro and a $20 bill.
And mainly because they're telling the truth.
Correct.
Like one of the reasons I'm still around is because I'm not a good liar, never been good at it, never had a tongue for it.
Yeah.
And I tell the guys the truth.
That's what she said.
And I back it up with logic, reason, and facts.
Yeah.
With comedy.
And you make it fun with math.
Fun with math. In fact, I'm working on the bullshit to fellatio ratio episode.
And don't ask. Don't ask. Don't ask. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. It's not finished yet.
If I could get that one, if I could figure that one out, it will be hilarious.
I just did a series of shorts off of one of your whiteboard videos where you respond to a woman's email.
Oh, challenge accepted.
Yes, it was one of the challenge accepted videos. And she's like, you would be more interesting if you weren't so shallow and you use math, and that's intimidating. And you just absolutely tear her to pieces.
Yeah. Well, here's a couple other ones, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
Dick thinking speak. That's gonna be a good one. And then
This is why you failed, Jimmy Kimmel.
I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday when I was teaching kickboxing. It was before the class started, and he was bitching about his wife. And he's like, I'm like, so where's don't you have your own room? He goes, yeah, it's in the furnace room. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I don't know, man. It's always like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I'm like, yes, dear. And I'm like, it sounds to me like you suffer from yes, dear-itis. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's an episode. And here it is. I wrote it up. Yes, dear-itis. I'm working on blah, 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 which can mean almost anything. And let's see, lines that you should never cross to make someone happy. That's going to be more of a serious one.
Oh, I can think of 2 or 3 of those right off the top of my head.
No, we won't get into that.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole right now. In the meantime, Kimmel will continue on with his hosting gig on Jimmy Kimmel Live. However, he shared that he won't be signing on to host the Academy Awards next year, saying that he's in the needs for a break. I'm not sure what that sentence means, but I'm throwing the bullshit flag on that. The Academy Awards is dead.
Yes.
It's dead. They turned it into, speaking of bullshit fellatio, the Academy Awards is nothing but bullshit and fellatio.
All of those awards.
The whole thing.
I mean, it's not just the Academy Awards. It's the Emmys, the Grammys.
Oscars, the Grammys.
They are all bullshit.
Yeah.
And
fellatio.
People aren't even watching them anymore.
No.
It's such horseshit.
Yeah. And it's more nonsense propaganda, and it's over the top stupid stuff too. Over the top stupid propaganda that nobody wants to pay any attention to. Nobody wants to watch it. Jimmy Kimmel, you're not taking a break from that. You know that it's done, and you're just afraid to say it.
Yeah, you fucked the horse.
Say it for crying.
Kimmel, you fucked the horse on this one.
You really did. I just decided I didn't want to deal with that this year. It was just too much last year. You wind up pushing everything off until after the Oscars, and then you have to do everything you promised to do after the Oscars. Well, there's a big shock. He's not going to host any of that stuff. Well, guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody's watching, bro.
Yeah, nobody cares. Listen. All right. Now, we've said this many, many times about the propaganda. I was one of those guys who noticed it. I started noticing the propaganda, roughly 2003. And while we're getting ready to go to Iraq. And then I became hyper aware of the propaganda because I was in Iraq I was on the ground for many of the things that made the news back then, like the first and second Fallujah, some of the Mahdi army fiasco bullshit. I was literally on the ground. I saw what was happening. And then 45 minutes to 2 hours later, it's on CNN or MSNBC, completely fucking different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Exactly what happened with me. I was playing water boy and battery carrier for you faggots.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd get back to wherever we were based out of and flip a TV on like 2 days later. And here's that story, but it's completely different. Everything's wrong. The locations are different. There's a whole thing. There's an operation that got made into a movie that I saw the BDA for in 2003 that they claim the operation happened in 2006. Yep. I can't give you details. Sorry.
That's BDA is battle damage assessment.
Battle damage assessment.
That's usually what happens after the bullets fly, and then they stop
going
flying.
Through all the radio chatter, we were combing it, looking for guys that we could build network off of.
Yeah, we went actually had to like count dead people and stuff like that.
We just wanted the radio chatter. Give us all of your audio.
No, when we do BDA as a grunt, it's like
bad guy.
Yeah, I found some eyeballs.
Bad guy. I mentioned that in one of my shorts.
How many eyeballs? Yeah. Is it just one? Yeah. Well, how do you know he's dead? Yeah. Wait, what? Eyeballs don't just fall out of your head willy nilly. He's probably dead.
I got 3 over here. Well, how do you know you got 3 over there? Well, I've got 5 legs, 2 heads, and I think 6 hands.
You have the other guy. I'll raise you 2 penises.
This should happen.
Yeah, listen, this is grunt humor
really
here.
Happen. It is grunt humor, but these things really happen.
Yes, they do.
And we're going through, the SIGINT guys are going through the BDA. They'll give us a lot of the audio and stuff. They'll get recordings or things like that off of computers, and we're going through all of that. We're working next to these guys while they're going through their footage, looking at the blowy uppy stuff, listening to these conversations.
These guys are really fucking sick in the head. What the fuck is wrong with these guys?
Dude,
here's the thing.
We drank a lot because of you guys.
We should have our own Tonight Show because we're that sick in the head. And these son of a bitches on regular TV has sold the fuck out.
And they're not funny anymore.
They're not funny anymore.
They're not funny. All they have is Trump jokes.
Well, there you go. There's your title of your Tonight Show, Sick in the Head with Terrence Popp.
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, we see your Trump jokes and we'll raise you 5 legs and 2 penises.
When I used to do height and weight, I'd have these dudes like, yeah, how tall are you? I'm 5'8". All right, so you're 11 penises and a dick sack.
The hell?
And they're like, what?
What's wrong with you?
What did you say? Well, the average penis is 6 inches long, and a dick sack, if you stretch, is 4 inches.
You were using math then.
Yeah, I was, but
nobody likes you
because listen, the jobs suck. All right.
Yeah.
They're nothing but retardation over and over again, run by incompetent people. You have to laugh or come up with ways to make it humorous so you don't go insane.
Yeah. Try standing in a bathroom for 3 hours trying to get 18 to 24-year-olds to pee in a cup for you.
Yes.
For 3 hours.
Yep.
That's a real thing, too. Unfortunately. Operation Golden Flow, meat gazer duty.
Squirt work.
Horrible. It's horrible shit.
Sorry, too much army shit. I'm just saying.
It's relevant, though, because our material is funnier than Jimmy Kimmel.
It is. I would say it is.
Final first quarter results from the 2024 Nielsen ratings have arrived on the talk shows, and a familiar offering has been held steady at the top of the late night ratings heap. The Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert, who is completely, that's the guy on the right there.
Yeah, he's the guy who did he had the people dancing as hypodermic needles to
during
get the shot.
Whole, telling people to get vaccinated.
Yeah,
that's
like
this guy.
All right, yeah, fuck that guy.
Which tells you that the ratings are bullshit.
Yeah, what the thing is if that doesn't tell you that they've been bought and paid for, nothing else will.
Yeah. ABC's Jimmy Kimmel was second. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon was in third place. But moving ahead to the 12:30 a.m. slot, NBC's Late Night with Seth Meyers and the Landscape's newest offering from from CBS after midnight split first place in quarter one. But it's the same stuff. They've got this formula of a guy with too much hair gel in his suit telling Trump jokes with dancing syringes in the background.
But also, these
That's
guys
all they have now.
they're supposed to be former comedians. They're not even funny.
Johnny Carson's stand-up monologue alone was worth waiting up to watch Johnny Carson.
And here's another thing.
And
I don't think
minutes.
they do on the late night anymore is they actually have up and coming comedians perform. I haven't seen that in years.
I haven't seen that in years either. They can't take the risk because what if one of them says something that's politically incorrect?
So what? That's a comedian's job. That's what I do.
But the people who control these shows, they'll lose their minds.
Correct.
That's why there's no comedy anymore. It was a couple of different people have said this already. John Cleese has said comedy is pretty much dead.
Mm-hmm. So did what is it? Seinfeld.
Yep. Said that. Russell Brand said that he got out of it completely.
Yeah, he's out of it. Joe Rogan is having running into some hard times.
Yeah, he's kind of a twat though.
I
mean, he's just like a twat. It's not like he's a bad guy. I hate him.
I wouldn't call. You got to really go to a certain length to have me call you a twat. He's more like just a fence sitter, I would say.
That's a twat to me. I think I have a milder definition than you.
Yeah, I just call him a fence sitter. That no big deal. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't want to fight Joe Rogan because that back kick he has.
I didn't say I want to fight the guy.
No,
I'm just saying, content-wise, I think he's a twat is somebody who's just not of any note.
Plus, he's got that jujitsu stuff, man.
That's fine.
I don't want to have my clothes folded while I'm in them. I'm good.
I don't want to fight him.
Not fighting anyone. I'm retired.
There you go. Comedy Central's longest-running show, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, experienced a standout quarter, highlighted by the 2024 return of Jon Stewart. Stewart's weekly shows had a halo effect on the full week, not just Mondays. The Daily Show averaged 1.16 million total viewers. These ratings that they post for all of these shows, none of this matches up with reality because what else was significant about the Johnny Carson era?
Well, like I said, most people work during the day.
The day after a Johnny Carson show, depending on where you worked, there was at least one conversation about the Carson show the night before.
Oh, yeah.
When's the last time you heard somebody talking about a Seth Meyers show or a Jimmy Kimmel show? Never.
They're not. They're empty.
People used to discuss it. They used to, did you see that Carson skit last night? That shit was funny. Oh my God, Robin Williams was.
It was the same thing with the old Saturday Night Live.
Yes,
some of those Saturday Night Live skits were so funny. People talked about them for weeks, if not years.
We still make land shark jokes.
Yeah,
to this day, people still make land shark jokes. Nobody makes jokes about modern Saturday Night Live. I haven't heard anybody mention it in 10, 15 years, except to say that it sucks.
Because it's been watered down to the point where it sucks. Yes. It's nothing but propaganda. There's an agenda to it, and it literally is like a bunch of robots trying to be funny. It's not funny.
No longer funny.
Yeah, absolutely correct. It's not funny at all.
John Belushi's The Samurai Baker.
Oh, that was great.
One of the first episodes where John Belushi portrayed a Russian doing something in a room. I forget what it was, but what I remember is that I still know that I find it funny, even though I can't remember what the skit was.
Yeah.
Because John Belushi was just that good.
The one I liked was Blind Man's Bluff.
I don't remember that one.
No, it was like, it was Blind Man's Bluff.
Yeah, okay, I know what that is.
If you get touched, then you have to wear the thing.
Right.
But like everyone's running away from him. Like, wait, what? But he's not technically wearing a blindfold. He's been tagged.
Yeah.
So everyone runs away from him, and then it goes for a few more minutes, and then it shows him wandering through New York, and everyone's running away from him. It was
everybody
funny.
Just played along.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
That's fantastic.
I remember I was watching that as a child, and I was staying up past my so-called bedtime, which really didn't exist.
I didn't really have a bedtime either. I have messed up eyes. I got my eyes lasered later on. Because I used to read comic books in bed with a flashlight.
Okay.
Or whatever I was reading at the time.
It's a technique. Not the preferred method.
Not the preferred method, but it's a technique. I had one of those like emergency, the big square ones with like 4 D-cell batteries.
Oh, yeah.
Though.
Yeah. The thumper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were good stuff. those were good stuff. All of these ratings that they're showing, it's just meaningless crap anymore. That any of that should matter to anybody. Late night TV is back, but who is still watching?
Not me.
They killed with the writers' strike that went on for months and months and months. What is the year? This is 2023. And with the lockdowns and the coof and all of that stuff, all of this stuff got killed, but it had been dying already because it was no longer funny.
But they've had it on life support for probably a good half a decade.
Yeah. Late night shows were the first casualty of the writers' strike. Why? Because those shows were all written. It's not real comedy anymore. Johnny Carson had writers, sure. Ed McMahon had writers. Ed Sullivan had writers, I'm sure. But you could tell that it was like a general, hey, here's the skit we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Carson and Tim Conway would go to town. It's Tim Conway, not Tim Connolly.
Yeah.
Tim Conway. They would just go to town with it. And you could tell some of it was ad-libbed because they'd be like a quarter of the way through, and all of a sudden Tim Conway would do so, and Carson would just lose it. he would like fall over laughing because Conway had taken whatever it was that they were supposed to do and ad-libbed it, but better.
Yep.
And Carson would just fall over.
Yeah.
And that was comedy. That was the good stuff.
That was the good stuff, yeah.
Robin Williams excelled at that as well. He would just...
Robin Williams could freestyle.
That's what I was just
Yes.
about to say. I believe it was also on the Carson show where Carson said, here's a word. And Robin Williams just went...
Yeah.
with it.
And listen, freestyling in comedy is exceptionally rare.
Good freestyling.
If you could do it... You are head and shoulders above all the rest.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So there you go.
I can do it accidentally once every 3 or 4 years for about 40 seconds.
Correct.
That's about it. That's about all
But the thing is we've got the generation out there that is now writing for these guys who went to school where there are no winners or losers. Everyone got a trophy.
Yeah.
And what are you going to write about? That's funny.
One of the big mistakes they made, and I was in Hollywood. I was in Santa Monica, the law firm that I worked at. Half of it was corporate, half of it was entertainment. Alan Alda's attorney was in my firm. And that attorney was so good that Alan Alda used to bring him coffee. I used to see Alan Alda coming in and out of the office all the time. Anyway, the writers' guilds and the mechanism around the writing, right around 2000, I was told, had a paradigm shift where they got rid of all the old writers, let them retire, and hired all young people.
There you go.
But those young people never came up under anybody. So they thought they had it figured out and knew what they were doing, and they were going to do it better than all those old guys, but had never been taught how to write. And
or they don't have experience.
That's the same thing. They don't have any experience writing. They didn't know what to do. They thought they could watch an old Johnny Carson show and then write like that.
And here's another
That's
thing.
not how it works.
A lot of comedy today, or at least the comedy that I'm used to, comes from either making fun of something that's true or making fun around something that's true. There's always a base of truth in everything that's really funny. Or most of the comedians came from a base where they had some type of pain going on in the background, and that's what they used to use as fuel to deal with the pain is comedy. I'm no exception. But now that you have a generation out there that never had to face the bully, got trophies for just showing up, no winners or losers, that edge is not there anymore.
Yeah,
and you can see it in the writing.
Destroyed the art form.
Yeah,
It really
is what it is.
Destroyed the art form. And the writer's strike that they were talking about, this comes from May of 2023. The Writers Guild of America contract with Hollywood studios and streaming services expired on Monday, and a much-feared strike took place. The first time since a paradigm-shifting 100-day stoppage back in 2008. I remember that. I was working at the firm, and everybody went ballistic because a lot of lawyers lost a lot of money because a lot of their clients weren't making anything and
Yep.
not going in front of cameras, so they weren't paying their lawyers, which really upset the lawyers. No.
Taking money away from lawyers makes them upset.
Apparently, they like their shekels.
Yeah.
Among the immediate stoppage victims would be the broadcast network's late-night talk shows, which depend heavily on topical humor and daily output from their busy writers' rooms. And this is right in the window of what I was talking about when that shift happened, that paradigm shift. The old people all retired, and the young people came in, but were never mentored. Next in line for disruption would be weekly high topical programs such as Saturday Night Live this week with John Oliver and Real Time with Bill Maher. But in fact, all of the shows, particularly the late night ones, were already facing complicated futures thanks to fast shifting viewership habits, especially among the younger audiences that advertisers most wanted to reach. That's another paradigm shift as well. The viewers for late night TV, the Carson era, had gotten older, and okay, they watched, but they didn't spend any money on anything. And the newer kids were coming in, and this is 2008, so the internet has taken over by this time.
Yes, it has.
And they all watched stuff on the internet, and they weren't interested in watching any of these late night TV shows anymore.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, if you can't keep the eyeballs, you shouldn't be in business. And that's
Down to
how it works.
content.
The customer is always right.
Yep.
If you keep making shit that nobody wants to watch, stop throwing money at it and figure out and crack the code and figure out how to get those eyeballs back. And you're not going to do it with propaganda and following this code script bullshit.
The internet vomited up a phrase for that. Content is king.
Yes.
Everybody says that. Content is king. And it is exactly what we've been talking about with the fall of the late night shows. The content went to crap.
Correct. And like you're probably never going to see Redonkulas on the mainstream because I swear too much. I tell the truth.
That would be hysterical. If they finally went, you know what? This is the only way we're going to make money. Call this Terrence Pop guy. Get him into the studio.
Oh my God. That would be funny.
A cutscene of you walking down the promenade in Santa Monica, 3rd Street.
Nah,
it's just a street like in Royal Oak, dude.
I can't do it.
You can't do that?
Not really.
It'd be fun. Like Jimmy Kimmel when he goes through all the little shops before he goes into the show.
And we could film that at the Lair.
That's fine. Changes hitting media companies and business models across not just Hollywood, where still more layoffs thumped Disney, Amazon, Paramount Global, and others in recent days, but also in social media. That's false. Social media took off, but that was the content creators who took off, not like Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
Business ventures and entire models spawned in the 2010s are shutting down in the 2020s. Just look at the demise this past week of the Pulitzer Prize winning BuzzFeed News. Those were garbage, propagandist, Marxist organizations that were never going to last.
And they were paid with venture capital money.
Yes.
And listen.
It was a bet, and they lost the bet. It was a gamble. It was like throwing money at a horse.
Yeah, venture capital is a huge risk kind of thing. But you got to figure there was many different outlets doing the exact same thing, getting financed by venture capital.
Yep.
And none of it, to my knowledge, has worked.
Yeah. I don't know of any of it that has worked.
Yeah, most of them are going under now.
That has lasted.
And especially now that DEI is now getting thumped in court.
Yes.
So that's going to make it worse.
That was another horse.
Term.
That was another horse bet.
Yeah.
A bad one, too.
Yeah, listen.
And that was self-evidently bad.
The DEI is like, didn't earn it.
Yeah.
All right. Exactly. Now, listen, I understand. I got it. You know, it looks unfair.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, when you're competing for life and limb, you want the best person for the job, and it doesn't matter what they look like.
One of my favorite commanders was a female. She made it to the rank of 2-star general. She's from South Carolina. When she was the commander at Civil Affairs, she's the one who recruited me to be her ops boss, her NCOIC for operations. She had jump master wings, and she got those wings in 1986. Now, for a woman to pass jump master school in 1986, to my knowledge, means she had to do everything everybody else
They didn't
had.
really cut corners back then. For
Yeah,
women, no.
exactly.
Yeah.
So she was a respectable commander. So I don't have any problem with women in charge or something like that if she can do it. And I saw the mustard stain on the wings. I'm like, everybody goes to jump school. The cooks go to fucking jump school, especially in the 82nd.
Oh, she didn't have a combat jump, did she?
No,
All right, that's a mustard.
or that's the
stain.
mustard stain. I'm sorry. She had the jump master wings.
Yeah. Listen, man.
She didn't have a combat jump.
If I could give back my Purple Heart mustard stain on my jump wings and get back my health, I'd do it in a second.
There you go. But she had the jump master,
Yeah. Okay.
which for a female, especially an officer, a captain, to do that
It's tough.
was hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, I never went to jump master school because I know I wasn't ever motivated really because I knew what happened at the end because I did it for real.
what happens at the end?
Well, you jump into combat.
A jump master school?
No. When airborne school
Every school is 5 jumps.
is for the purpose of learning how to jump into combat.
It's for the purpose of learning to walk out the door when you're told.
But I got to do that for real.
Yeah.
And after that happened, I had no motivation to do jump master school
Oh.
because it was hard enough doing that without being a jump master. I couldn't even imagine being a jump master and then still having to do all of that other horse shit and then jump into combat.
Not school, you're jumping at 1250, but you guys, when you went into Panama, you jumped at
They said it was 500 feet. It was
500.
It was 435.
Yeah, I heard that. That's like freaking
No, that was told to me by a pilot
holy ass.
who was flying that mission on the golf course at
That's
Selfridge.
legendary, by the way. That's absolutely fucking legendary.
Yeah. He was playing golf on the golf course at Selfridge Air National Guard Base, and we were having AT at Company F, and I went to the golf course house, whatever, because they made these great hamburgers back in the day.
Okay.
And I heard these guys talking.
Yeah.
And the guys were like, yeah, we flew that mission. Yeah, just cause. I'm like, wait a minute.
Hold up. Come here.
Oh, hey, hey, man. Say that again. He goes, yeah, I was a pilot. We're floating the C-130s. He gave the designation or the unit. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you were one of the pilots. I jumped at Panama.
Yeah.
And then we're talking. He goes, yeah, that was fucked up. Yeah. He told me a couple birds had some engines that were shot out.
I heard at least one bird got hit bad.
Yeah. Well, semi bad. Yeah. You got to really.
I don't know.
A C-130, you got to like pretty much rip off half of a wing before it'll fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so we're jumping at 500 feet. He's like holding a beer. He goes, that's what they told you, huh?
Oh.
And then he's like, try more like 435. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, you're lucky you weren't a stain. The only other jump at that altitude that I know of, I think, was Grenada.
Yeah, 500 feet.
Yeah, I think they did it at Grenada too.
And my platoon sergeant, who later became the regimental sergeant major Greenway, jumped into Grenada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was my platoon sergeant.
That's terrifying. 1250 is, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
The night jump was shitty because the ground comes out of nowhere and you hit the ground.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But it wasn't that big of a deal. But I can't imagine what 435 fucking looked like. And you jumped night too on that.
At night, while being shot at, 435.
Pops in the wire.
Yeah. That was a bad night for the popster.
That's crazy shit. So anyway, the talk show industry has basically tanked and everybody knows it. And it's a shame because it is an American icon. It started out with stuff like the Ed Sullivan show, and it was what everybody was interested in. And then with Carson and the other shows, it was what everybody was interested in, plus really good comedy. And then Saturday Night Live was just the best comedy when that first came out. And then it's degenerated in the mid 90s. It just crapped all over itself. And now
Same thing with the talk shows during the day.
it's like watching somebody get addicted to like coke and heroin.
Yeah.
Where for that first couple of times, they're really fun to be with.
And then it becomes sad.
And then it's funny to watch them fuck up. And then you watch them just fall apart.
Then
and finally you find them in the gutter. We're at finding them in the gutter right now.
it literally, this is just sad now.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah. The shift towards streaming is claiming another legacy TV victim, late night television. Why it matters? It's an icon. It is. Late night TV was an icon in America. It's dead now. The rapid decline in both viewers and ad revenue is forcing networks to turn to cheaper alternatives, threatening the future of the 70-year-old genre. CBS aired the final episode of The Late Show with James Corden on Thursday night. Rather than find a new host, the network is ending the 28-year-old show entirely. It makes you wonder if television isn't going to go back to, do you remember? TV stopped at a specific time at night.
Oh, yeah.
And they would play the Star Spangled Banner,
And then it was
and it would go snow or a test pattern.
a test pattern until like, 6, 7 in the morning.
Yes, when the news would come up.
Used to cut out right around midnight and start about 5 in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yep. TV would stop.
And they actually went from doing that to the infomercials where they would sell shit.
Oh God, that was awful. That was horrible. That was a bad idea.
Yeah. Well,
That was somebody, we need to fill this with a bad idea. The good idea fairy sitting on somebody's shoulder.
Let's do infomercials.
hey, look,
That'll be great.
listen, the network makes some money. They sell some stuff. Big deal.
Yep. I remember staying up past the hour, and the Girls Gone Wild commercials would come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember those.
Oh, yeah.
I was like 11, 12 years old. Be like, hey, maybe I can see a boob.
Yeah.
Nope.
That guy he got sued. He got in quite a bit of trouble.
That guy got in a lot of trouble. The new show, which will be produced by Stephen Colbert and Funny or Die, is expected to debut in the fall. It will also be significantly cheaper to produce than the Late Late Show, the source adds. The big picture, late night TV is expensive, with top hosts like Colbert and Jimmy Fallon making north of $15 million a year. Why are you paying these fools that much money, you idiots? And the social media age has dramatically changed how viewers watch them, choosing online clips the next morning over live viewing. Duh, you're not interesting anymore.
Correct.
The genre's fading relevance is making what was a plum TV gig less glitzy for the host, and the high costs are putting a brake on the salaries. Just stop paying them so damn much. If they like it, they'll keep doing it. That's how you know you've got somebody who's competent.
Yes and no.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, you're right.
There comes a time where you just got to get paid.
$15 million a year.
Yeah. Okay. 1 year, 15 million.
I'll do it for 2 right now. I'll do it for 2.
I would do it for 2 as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Corden is the second late night host to voluntarily leave within the last 6 months without a replacement. Trevor Noah abruptly left Comedy Central's Daily Show in December, and the network has filled his spot with rotating guests ever since.
Trevor Noah sucked.
He did suck. He was a weasel-faced little shit.
He was a sellout propaganda.
Yes.
Just a weasel piece of shit. In my
He
opinion.
had no talent at all.
No,
Zero talent.
I wouldn't say he had no talent.
I would.
No.
I would.
No, okay,
You
you can
cannot
say that.
say it.
I listen. He has some talent.
That's
I
fine.
can't sit there and say he doesn't have any talent. Of course, I'm not making any money, and I don't have as many eyeballs as he has.
That's fine.
But and from a comedian to another comedian,
Yeah.
he's pretty good.
I disagree.
He's got me beat.
I disagree.
Well, I need to.
We just disagree on this one. That's all.
Fine. All right,
That's fine.
it happens. I'll still drink beer with you.
Fucking turn this into a cockfight.
hey, why do I got to go there, man?
Man, what can reverse late night TV's decline? Not putting fat bags like this in front of the camera. Look at this guy. Nobody wants to look at this guy.
Who is that guy anyway?
That's Trevor Noah, I think.
I even know him.
No, that's some
Seth
British.
Rogen?
No, that's some British dude, I believe. I don't know his name, but that's not Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah is a light-skinned dude from South Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nobody wants to look at this guy. Get out of here.
No.
In
Run
late
a
April,
few.
after James Corden announced that he would step down from the Late Late Show next spring, there was immediate speculation about his replacement. Others, however, had a different response to race changes in the late night TV lineup.
Who cares?
Ratings are down, they point out. The shows can't get over their Trump obsession.
There you
I
go.
just say. They represent a bygone era of television. Sadly, they killed it.
Well,
They
no,
basically beat the golden goose to death on TV, and now they want to know why nobody wants to watch them anymore.
but by going after Trump and the people who voted for Trump, you're literally alienating almost half, if not more, of your viewers.
It wouldn't have mattered if it was Barney that they polarized like that. They beat that to death so badly that everybody stopped listening.
Yeah.
It's what I said earlier about the whole propaganda thing. They oversaturated.
Wah, wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah, 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 wah.
Yes, ma'am.
But in my view, late night TV still can matter. Contrary to what some might say, late night is not dead and it can make a comeback. Okay. But if it doesn't want to fall by the cultural wayside as baseball has, go to Japan or Korea. Baseball has not fallen by the wayside there. It needs to do, or the Dominican Republic for that matter, it needs to do what the national pastime hasn't: adapt and evolve. Well, if you hadn't moved a bunch of soccer fans across the border, we wouldn't have the baseball problem.
Well, the baseball thing is adapting and improving, or so you say. They're changing up all the rules, which makes the game fucking suck.
Yeah, leave it alone. It wasn't broken.
Yeah,
Liz,
they got it.
it
They
wasn't
have instant replays now for baseball when baseball was supposed to be a bang bang play. Either the umpire made this wrong play.
Instant replays of a baseball game and watch the tape. I don't care about that. I want to watch a game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I stopped watching NFL for the same reason way before it became woke. I didn't want to see replays and guys running for the sideline every play.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see guys clobber and go for the long haul.
Yeah, I can't really watch professional sports because of the whole take a knee thing. And then remember,
that permanently killed it. But
That-
I stopped watching NFL back in like 2004.
now you remember when in the
because
NBA,
of all of that stuff.
when that one NBA guy went into the crowd and started fighting people?
I've never watched basketball.
Well, I was literally, when that happened, I'm like, I will never, ever watch NBA ever again. Fuck those guys.
Late night TV and pro sports.
Yep.
Pro sports is the same. They did it differently, but they still killed their fan base and their cultural relevance. For 9 years, I wrote for two late night shows, Late Night and The Tonight Show, both hosted by Fallon. I saw firsthand a fledgling show that aired at 12:30 a.m. blossom into a hugely successful show in the coveted 11:30 p.m. slot, which is right after the news. When I began teaching writing for the late night at Emerson College in 2019, late night remained formidable. At the start of a semester, I asked how many in the class regularly reviewed a network late night talk show. Every student watched at least one. Most watched two. Here's the problem with this. He started teaching when?
2019.
Which was the height of the Marxist anti-Trump rhetoric.
Correct.
So he was probably teaching them how to write Trump jokes.
Yep.
So this guy may be responsible for the last dagger in Caesar's back.
Well, first of all, this is just my opinion. The comedians that they have doing the late night are not funny.
Nope.
The people writing for the show are not funny.
Nope.
The stuff that they're forced to write has to follow a strict scheme, which makes it even less funny.
Yep.
So you have not funny people, not funny writers being forced to write non-funny stuff. Are we shocked that it's collapsing? Are we shocked? I'm not.
No. Late night TV was a really cool thing. And this guy right here says it. A suggestion from multiple students was to focus on more specific, relatable issues in monologues, not just propaganda. I found this interesting as that was the style of Joan Rivers, who personally I didn't care for very much. She was a nasty piece of work, but she was funny as hell.
She was very funny until she
Yes.
made fun of Barry and got killed. My opinion. She was old.
Didn't she make fun of Michael?
Yeah.
I mean, Michelle?
Yeah, she called him a man.
Yeah.
And like a couple weeks later, she died during a cosmetic procedure.
Died suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah, two examples of personalities who eschewed rapid-fire topicality in favor of issues affecting everyday people. Like we said in the beginning, late-night TV was all about detaching from the world and watching some funny, relatable stuff. That was the whole point of late-night TV, And these writers single-handedly killed it. Now here's these kids in 2021 going, we have a great idea. I'm going to save the world. God. That's what killed late
God, that shit's hilarious.
TV. We
Woo!
have come to the end of our rope,
All right.
by the way.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
This was a kind of a wild ride. There were a couple of things in here that I didn't know, and it's sad for me that late night TV has died like this.
Yeah, it's sad, but we have to look at the cause. They literally they turned late night TV and all of Hollywood, for that matter, into one huge propaganda machine to the point where everyone sees it now and nobody's watching.
Yeah.
That's it.
They dragged late night TV onto the table in the Senate chambers and to the living crap out of it.
Yep. Which happened.
Are you suggesting congressional butt segs?
That's exactly what took place. All right, Jimmy, we got to get through some super chats. Let's get through this.
Alrighty, let's see. We'll start over here on YouTube. Here we got 500 viewers over there and only 292 likes, guys.
That's not bad.
Get with it, man.
That's a 3/5.
Close enough. Alrighty, Hobie Cat 1 here. He's got 2 in a row here. First one here. You guys are 100% divorced 55-year-old cop living in a trailer. Could be worse. Could be living in a van down by the river.
And first of all, living in a trailer is not that bad of a deal.
My brother lives in a trailer.
Yeah.
It's tidy and clean and warm. And he's happy.
Yeah, my dad lives in a trailer that was built in like 74, 75.
Yeah.
Completely remodeled most of the inside. He's got his own man cave, enclosed porch outside.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Hobby Cat's second one here says, here's another $10.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
See, Mighty Mouse Malibu here with $5 says, best was Zaza Gabor asked Johnny Carson if he wanted to pet her kitty. He said, sure. And if you get that damn cat out of your lap.
Do you want to pet my kitty? I remember that one.
He got sued over a rub your putter thing.
Something like that.
He made a joke and pissed off. It was some golfer's wife. It was pretty good.
Nice. Alex Patini here with $5 says, when you said getting snow plowed, why did that sound bad? No bueno.
Well, that's when you bang a cocaine whore.
Oh.
It's a snowplow.
Oh, okay.
Yikes. Let's see. Mike Davis, no comment, but he drops $19.99 for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. Aaron Williams with $2 says, thank you for touching my mental no square.
Mental no square.
Oh, my Lord. That's a good one.
Yikes.
Oh, my.
Let's see. Jam 3555 here. He's dropping $5. No comment.
Thank you very much.
And Al Snows, he's got our first We're Not Worthy tonight. He's dropping $50 on us.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Says, you guys are much better than any entertainment that anything the mainstream media can put out. Thanks for your comedy. It's a complete travesty that guys who create content to keep others from starting a shotgun get demonetized.
That's what's happening. I can't even buy advertising in Military Times or Stripes, which they'd rather, I'm too politically incorrect. They'd rather have the soldiers kill themselves.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. Sorry.
Carry on.
Alex Patini here, $5 says, Cappy does talk about orgasms per capita and its effects on economic growth.
Well, yeah. Listen, it all boils down to what's in it for me. And
I guess there's that.
If you're not going to get your weenie wet, why do the work?
Yeah.
Yep. And L Snow's coming back with $10. Says, listen to the song "Blow Me in the Car" by John Butler. That's where the term
is coming from. Why are we in blowjob land here?
I was talking bullshit to fellatio ratio.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
He says that's where the term bullshit to fellatio was first coined.
Okay. Now I understand.
And last one here over on YouTube, Alex Patino here. He says, Jimmy Fallon was cool when he did the Trump interview skit back in 2015 or 2016. Then he wussed out. So disappointed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That and don't forget Jimmy.
Man.
That and don't forget Jimmy Kimmel was once a host on the Man Show, and well,
Yeah, there
yeah.
you go. There you go.
Yeah. All right, we'll jump over here to Rumble. Here we got 728 over there. Thank you guys for showing up here tonight. And first one here comes from Cliff3188. Says celebs on social media also killed late night. Their fans never knew how fucked up those people were because the celebs used to be able to tell exaggerated stories of all their dumb shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
That and when you bring in, people in Congress, your AOCs and all those other morons as guests, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about AOC, the dick scraper.
The annoying, opinionated con.
All I can hear is the sound of those teeth being dragged down a brass stripper pole.
Oh God,
That's like nails on a chalkboard, baby.
yeah. Those mule teeth are
Yeah.
painful looking.
Yeah.
Right.
They are.
Alrighty, Shellback Stunts. He's got our second We're Not Worthy. He's dropping 50 on us.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Telling us to keep up the great work, gents. Oh, yeah. Keep doing it as long as you guys keep watching. See, International House of Whoop Ass here says Sorryville, where the addresses don't match. Building 4 and 5 were nowhere near each other. Nowhere near each other. The PX, the gym next to it, a chow hall, and HQ are God knows where, and one water tower.
Yes. Yes. That is an accurate description of many bases that I have been to.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. 1371 MOS. He says, over there, FX.
Huh. All right. That's weird, but okay. Next one.
Not sure what it means there. Tantalum 180 here. He says $5 says, not only the truth, but actual comedy without fear of being offensive. Thanks, fellas.
We haven't offended you yet? Pop,
Yeah.
we need to get on that.
Yeah.
We'll get on that. Sorry.
We'll get on that.
We'll work harder. Barrett McMusing here at $2 says, if you want to laugh your ass off, Laurel and Hardy, the essential news collection, timeless, time proof.
He is not wrong. Barrett is a huge Laurel and Hardy fan. He's one of my buddies back up by where I live.
They're okay.
Nice. Gorilla Bear dropping $1 says the best Tim Conway was on the Carol Burnett show.
Oh yeah.
So we forgot.
Oh yeah. No, I think
one.
I know exactly what you're talking about too. Carol Burnett was a fucking riot.
Fucking
That woman was
hilarious.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Frosted Danimal Cracker here with $5 says, why do you guys hate on millennials so much? I'm the average age millennial at 36. I faced bullies. We didn't have participation trophies and basically ordered to go to college by everyone.
It's called comedy, bro.
It's comedy. We're just kidding, man.
Yeah.
Grow some rhino skin.
That right there is why we pick on millennials so much, because you got worried that we were picking on you.
You got to read my book and grow some thicker skin.
And particularly with Army guys, if we smell weakness,
you're
we're
on.
going to eat your fucking lunch.
Dude, we're going to fuck with you
It's
forever.
nothing personal.
Forever.
Yeah.
And speaking of fucking with someone, Ellie Card 1776, he's got a couple requests here.
Front row.
All right.
And just because I'm going to fuck with you, Pop.
I hate that one.
Funny every time.
I hate it.
You hate it because your face fits so perfectly
does.
on that weird little dude's head.
It does. I can't lie. I cannot lie. You're absolutely correct.
Never gets old. Let's see. Barrett McMusing here with $5 says, this was a fun show. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Well, we try to do shows that are funny and teach you something at the same time.
And we wanted to lighten it up tonight, too.
Yeah.
It's kind of dark out there right
Yeah,
now.
it's looking pretty grim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Professor Blake Pooh Ass Blaster 3000 Love that screen name. He says, Pop loves the snowplow.
I never messed around with a coke horse, just horse. And
Maybe that's like a Wamalo, but in like a winter state.
All right, yeah, okay. We get that.
The snowplows.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Hog slaying during the wintertime.
Winter hog slaying.
The hogs on Hoth.
Yeah, Hoth hogs. Yes, Hoth hogs. There was a bunker at Camp Red Cloud in Korea that we called Hoth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Long story. Continue.
Professor Blake Pooh Ass Blaster coming back in says, Pop, question. What do you think of the Ukrainians going into Russia?
Well,
that's a whole show.
That's a whole show, but it's basically proof is in the pudding. All these people have been saying Russia's going to do this, Russia's going to do that, and they can't even control their own borders for now. I am pretty sure if they piss off Russia enough, you will see the old school ground and pound come out, and it might not go so well for them.
We could do a show on that. We've got enough of the box, the battle map, if you will. If you want to do a show on that, we can do an analysis of the battle as it stands. It's still ongoing.
Still ongoing, yeah.
Yep. All right, we'll jump over here to MGTOW.tv, the best chat on the internet, guys. What's all going on over here?
On Rumble, 1371 MOS, which indicates a Marine, if I am not mistaken. 1371 sends 5 and says FX Network had an OIF show called Over There. I remember that in 2005. It was removed from the air due to it being too realistic. DoD and Army hated it. First time donating, like chat donation. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. But
sorry, Jimmy, that came in just as you said that.
You should be able to do shows, and it doesn't matter if it's real or not. Fuck you.
Yep.
Let me just jump back over here to YouTube here. James McLeod, he's dropped $20, says, Queen of my double wide trailer.
Nice.
All right.
Better to have a queen of a double wide than a double wide queen.
That's fair.
Fair. That's fair.
That's fair. You can have a hot queen of a double wide trailer. You cannot have a hot double wide queen in a trailer.
That would be bad.
It'd be really bad. All righty, let's see here. We'll start off here with Mungo Harry. He's dropped 25 on us. Says Bueller Layton, 2024 grand prize. She had a body that reached out and slapped my face like a 5-pound ham hock tossed from a speeding truck. Lawrence Person, Austin, Texas.
All right.
I like that a lot.
That's good.
That's funny.
So, well, I'll save that link.
That's the other thing about this kind of programming. You don't get the interaction with the audience, if you will, on regular late night TV. I mean, he could walk out into the audience, but you're never going to get reactions like this. Nobody's ever going to slap you in the face with a ham hock.
No.
Yep. All right, let's see here. Crazy Uncle. You need to stop sending in YouTube links there, brother. Quick video that's funny, just in case, but not too serious. YouTube link. Can't play it. Again, guys, stop sending in YouTube links or anything copyrighted. We cannot play them.
No, don't stop sending them in. Send them to us early so we can review them and play them.
Yes.
Or just send them to via email so that
That's
these
what I
guys
mean.
can
Send them via email.
There you go.
Redonkulas12@gmail.
Yep.
And his second one here says, a video after the stream, a bit from an old show that was beyond prophetic.
All right, we'll watch it after.
Yeah.
Let me open these up here real quick. Shut up, you Google ad.
I hate that.
Piss off.
I hate that. Well, you're opening that up and review it. I'll pop back over here to YouTube. FMF Veteran sends us $12 with no comment, but thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that.
He's got the medic thing going on there.
Yes, I see that.
So he might have been a butt toucher.
Oh.
Doctor butt toucher.
Meat gazer supervisor. The medic always supervised.
All right, Moisture Patrol back over here on MGTOW for 25 says, as Papa said many times before, humor is the best defense against the universe.
It really is, though.
Yep. MGTOW Ronin here says, I was a weird kid when I grew up. I noticed titties at a young age. For me, it wasn't Space Ghost. It was Battle of the Planets, a.k.a. Gotcha Man in Japan, or in the States, G-Force.
Yes, G-Force.
Yes.
I love G-Force.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Sacco's Flying Robot.
Yeah, I also like the Ghost Speed Racer.
Speed Racer was good too.
Johnny Sacco's Flying Robot. I actually got misty-eyed at the last episode.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah.
There you go. And Crazy Uncle, he's got 3 in a row here. First one, he says, episode ideas. How did I survive that?
All right.
Military call in, degradation of the services, how things fell apart in each service. How do you not know that? An episode on what should be common knowledge for men and young men that don't seem to know, like changing a tire.
Oh yeah. How the hell do you not know that? That's a straight up good question.
That's a good one right there.
And
know that?
And the second one here was Pop. I found I was there for the entire Maddie militia crap. What made it more interesting is that we started training them as the new army, and then they tried to face us with the same basic training, and we had given them so far. We will talk later, but I will say it was like facing civilians that think they watched John Wick and believe they can now shoot like that.
April 10th, 2004. A platoon and a half of Company F425 Airborne Infantry rolled out from Abu to Victory to retrieve a convoy that had been hit earlier that day. And we were engaged in a 8-mile long complicated ambush situation. And by the time we pulled into the prison, it was reported that we had caused anywhere between 80 and 125 KIAs, with 2 to 3 times that number in wounded. And basically that portion of the Mahdi army was zeroed out for about 4 to 6 months.
Combat ineffective.
Yeah,
you rolled in black too, didn't you?
We spanked those dudes so hard.
You rolled through the gate black too, didn't you?
What do you mean? Oh, out of ammo?
Like completely out?
No. During the whole firefight, I fired 57 rounds. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, because I was on semi-automatic. I wasn't going.
It's a freaking 8-mile ambush. I would imagine that some rounds were expended.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had Mark 19s going. We had a bunch of shit going. But it is what it is. I only fired at the flashes I saw that were shooting at me, and in my entire 33 years, I think I have not qualified expert twice. So I'm
given the report on that, your fire must have been reasonably accurate.
Yes, I'm pretty sure some of those people are now sampling the 72 virgins.
That's fine.
Let them have it. All right, keep going.
Keep going.
And Crazy Uncle's last one here. This one I like. We're gonna have to make this one a skit. Just like Johnny Carson, I would love to see a skit of the great Popini.
Popini.
Oh,
gotta write that down.
That would be funny. We got to get him one of those big Swami turbans, though.
The big pop.
That shouldn't be too hard.
And a wizard robe.
I don't know about the wizard robe. I do have a character.
Those would be great shorts.
I have a character I'm going to bring on the show called Bullshito.
Bullshito.
My friend Eric. I've known him since he was 6.
Yeah.
Guy's hilarious.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely hilarious.
Okay. There you go. And we had a couple more over here on Rumble here. 1371 MOS coming back says FX Network had an OIF show called Over There in 2005. It was removed from the air due to it being too real. DOD and Army hated it. First time doing chat donation.
Yeah, I think you read that one already.
I read that one while you were pulling up the MGTOW one.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. It happens.
Moving along.
Moving along.
And of course, Ellie Card's got another request.
Yeah.
We're going to make it a short one.
Big shock here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I feel like torturing Pop.
Oh, no! All right. Keep going.
I was just going to click the 7-second no square one, but I was like,
all right.
That's freaking horrible. Alucard, you bastard.
We also got a big one on YouTube just now.
We do, but we got LB Weaver for $1 over on Rumble over here. I laughed my ass off at Johnny Sacco, and I loved it when Speed Racer screamed when he was about to crash for the 50th time.
Yeah. For the 50th time.
And LB Weaver again, he says, Blake could be Ed McMahon to your Popini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. We'll have to put a couple of pounds on Blake and make his hair gray, but his kid will do that shortly.
Yeah, shortly.
There you go. All righty. And James McLeod, he's dropping $100 on us. So he gets one of these as well. Let me find it. There it is.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you very much. Thank you
Says
so much.
Sunday dinner on me, boys. Enjoy the show tonight.
All right.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. We'll jump over here to Odyssey here real quick. We only got one over there. Big Mike's Raging Rectum Wrecking Purple-Headed Prostate Puncher coming in.
He just likes to make you say that, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'm convinced he kept that because he likes to hear you say that.
It's terrible, man. Terrible. He says, regarding historic comparisons, have you and Battle Hobbit read Unhumans by Jack Posobiec? Let me know if you gay cruise cabin boys want a copy. I'll send the audiobook.
Unhumans.
I have not read that.
I know that title. I think I've seen it mentioned in Colonel Murray's chat rooms.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Jack Posobiec fan because he's going on a little hissy fit of blocking people that are critical of Trump and whatnot. So, yeah. Ask me how I know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because he has me blocked on Twitter. because I said, hey, man, I did this, that, and this and that. And I'm blocked. Whatever.
Fuck that guy.
And you're blocked.
Whatever.
94 just popped over on Rumble through a 10 spot at us and says, the Mark 19. Never have I heard a more beautiful implementation of destruction. Sounds like something a 9-year-old came up with, yet something that is absolutely terrifying to go up against.
Oh my God, yeah.
For those of you who are unfamiliar, the Mark 19 is a vehicle or tripod mounted, fully automatic 40 millimeter belt fed grenade launcher. Yeah. So you're basically got a grenade machine gun.
Yeah, and it'll shoot those grenades 3,200 meters.
Yes, and it is so satisfying to pull the trigger.
God, yeah.
Gunk, 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 gunk. And everything on your horizon goes.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's just so satisfying.
Yes, it is.
There you go. International House of Whoop-Ass comes back, says, I remember watching Kung Fu, The Old Batman, and The Golden Girls, but I missed the Bundys.
I like Kung Fu.
Weird one. I'm going up Losser Road in Bloomfield. It's a neighborhood in Detroit. Last Thursday, I think it was. Going south, I was passed by the old Batmobile.
Oh.
Nice.
A replica of the old Batmobile
Yeah.
with the red trim and
Yeah.
the fins and the bubble windshield.
It was a 54 Cadillac.
Went by, I was like,
The old Adam West Batmobile.
yes.
Well, there's companies out there that make exact replicas.
This was an exact. It was driven by a dude with like Ray-Ban sunglasses on, with a very satisfied look on his face. Probably about 60 years old.
Never grew up. God bless him.
I've got the Batmobile.
Yeah, fucking awesome.
Yep. All right, we'll jump over to the Cash Apps here. We got a handful of them. We got HKC. He sent over $5.
Thank you, sir.
He's wanting some box wine and Catland.
All right.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop!
Right now, that box wine and Catland video is going to live way, way beyond me. It's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There is actually, you should get on Fediverse and spam spinster.xyz, because it is a Fediverse instance like post of nothing but feminists.
What's it called again?
Spinster. SPINSTER.xyz.
Oh, yeah.
And it is full of these feminists. They'll block you right away, but you'll still get off a couple of rounds of box wine and Catland. And it will make them howl and cry and
Fuck them.
yeah.
I don't care.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yep.
Sure.
All righty, and we got Crunch Muncher. He's dropping $25. He also has a request.
Uh-oh.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop!
Oh, my God. I hate that.
God, just
I hate that woman.
I got to play the 7-second Hillary anyways.
All right.
oh my God.
All right, let me double check everything here. Make sure we're not going to miss anyone else's super chats here tonight. Looks like YouTube is all caught up.
Yeah,
All
I've been
good
watching
on
YouTube doing
Rumble.
that. That's why my head is going back and forth on camera. I'm watching the YouTube and the Rumble feeds.
All right.
Yep, Odyssey is all good. And no lemons from D Live. And that is the last Cash App. So I believe we are ready for a safety briefing here, Pop.
Whoop, MX Stilgar just dropped on you on Rumble.
Uh-oh.
God damn it, you bastard.
I know. Bastage.
He's a good guy.
Says, Shalom, gents. The original 1966 Batmobile was modified 1955 Ford Lincoln Futura concept car.
There
Yeah.
you go. Well, there's one of them in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
I thought it was a 1950s Cadillac of some type.
Apparently not.
All right.
MX Stilgar knows the scoop.
Yeah, good for him.
There you go.
All right. We're ready for
Morning,
a safety briefing?
Safety briefing.
All right, everybody. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. Doesn't work out. If you have to fornicate, wear a condom, take it with you, or flush it down the toilet, because fun and games can ensue, and they're quite expensive. And you could wind up being a slave for 18 to 21 years. If you have to engage in fisticuffs or any type of violence, run away first if you can. If you can't, do everything in your power not to go to the ground, because that is where you get stomped out. Maintain your situational awareness, rack up, pack up, and stack up. There's safety in numbers. And if somebody is going to attack you, your environment will have changed. It's up to you to see it. Now, finally, I'm sick and tired of bearing you sons of bitches. I've put out over 1,300 comedy/videos on the internet to entertain your minds, so you don't have to take a permanent solution to a temporary problem, because you have things to do. Play for time. You have no idea what's on your horizon. If you kill yourself, you will never know. There you go.
Battle Dwarf.
R.I.P. Late Night TV and long live Johnny Carson. Night all.
All
There
right.
you go. All right, gents. Take her easy and, well, stay away from the snow plows.
All right.
There you go.
I can't do it! I can't!